Hi guys, it's Nancy here and I am back with my blog post for August. Forgot what month it was then, up on the Hey Little Magpie blog. And what I am doing this month is I'm going to be looking at trying to scrap as many photos as I can. And these are my Disney photos. This is from when we were in California. I went to Disney. So I've got, I think, about 110 pictures here. I'm probably not going to scrap all of them, but I want to scrap the majority of them. So I've got ones from the park, I've got ones from the parade during the day and the parade during the evening. So that's my plan to scrap. So I'm going to be using a mixture of different bits and pieces. So mainly going to be using the Simple Stories Say Cheese 3. I do have some bits from Say Cheese 2 as well, which I had in my stash. So I bought a selection of the different bits of, what are they called? Embellishments. So I've got some brads. I've pre-made a few bits. So I have stitched these circles. So I just done these on my Cameo. And then I've backed them with some of the papers and stitched them around for some design elements. I've got the washi, which has the cameras on. I have fussy cut some of the cameras out as well. On my Cameo, I've cut out some Mickey heads, a couple of the phrases from the Simple Stories do cuts as well. So this is Magic This Way. Then I've just got a few other little embellishment bits in here. I've also got the roller stamp as well. So I then got the card pack, which is for the Snap album, and it has 121 pieces. So it has 18 4x6, 36 3x4, 12 4x4 and 24 2x2 and 31 bits and pieces. So that's like the ephemera. So I've just got all those cards on here. So some of these will be used for embellishments, some of them will be used as cards. I'm probably going to do a mixture of 12x12 pages and also some pocket pages. I also got of Lovely Jo, who's on the design team as well. She gave me some bits from the paper pad, and it's a 6x8 paper pad. So I've got some bits here that I can use. I saw these in my stash as well. These are some Imaginescence ones. I thought the colours go, so I did pick those up. And then in here I've just got a mixture of the papers I'm going to be using. So again, some of these are, this is a Bella Boulevard piece. But these are from the Say Cheese collection. I've got doubles of a few because, you know, I thought I'm going to probably do some double pages. I did pull this piece, which is from On a Whim. It's Confetti by Amy Tangerine. I thought this would go with the night parade pictures. And then I've got a mixtures of the different cardstocks as well. And then these are pieces from the Say Cheese 2 collection. Or just Say Cheese 1. Say Cheese and Say Cheese 2. So that is what I'm going to be playing with. So I'm going to have a mixture of videos up, and then I'll come back at the end and show you everything I've created, because I'm not going to do everything on video. So thank you very much, guys, and yeah, I will show you what I create. Cheers, bye. Hi guys, so I'm going to do something a little bit different with this process video. I'm going to show you actually two double page layouts in this video, but they are not actually completed. So I'm going to add some bits to them after I switch the camera off, and then the next video that's released, which will be in a couple of days time, will show the other layouts that I made, and also all the final projects for this. I will put the link down below, so if you do want to go and check out the blog post where you'll see pictures of everything and all the completed layouts, then you can go over there. So I'm going to be working on some double page layouts. These are not something that I used to do a lot, but I've kind of fallen more in love with them recently. So and the great thing is because I've got so many pictures that I want to scrap, that it's just going to make them, you know, so much easier to get them all on. I normally, you know, put sort of 3 on a page anyway, or 3 or 4 photos on a page, but this just makes everything work a bit easier. So as you've seen at the start there, I did actually join those two pages together. So that's just going to mean that when I'm doing everything and lining it up, it's just going to be much easier to sort of control and keep in place. So I'm just going to be sticking my down. I like this format because it means that I've used some sort of different orientation. I had that one of Walt Disney, which I really wanted to use. So now I'm going to my embellishments, and I'm pulling out a selection of bits and pieces. I pull out two of those stitched stars that I've made, and there's also a title that I cut which says "Magic This Way." When you cut it out, the Y was not attached to the rest of the die cut, so I just used a bit of washi tape to stick that up there on the back, because I knew that I'd lose it otherwise. So I've just done that in there, and now I'm just looking through the cards that came in the snap pack to see what I can use for embellishments. So I really love doing these pages, and I think it was a challenge to me because I didn't want to. It's not that I didn't want to spend time on them. I just didn't want them to become massive chore. And actually, I found the pressure of not having to create a perfect overly embellished layout really worked for me. So, you know, the story is being captured, the photos are being showcased, but you know, there's not a high level of detail in that. You know, there's a couple of embellishment clusters, and some of the pages have more detail than the others, but actually I just wanted to get the story told, and actually found doing all of these in kind of one sitting as well really helped. So it probably took me all in all about, I'd say, 8 hours to do all the pages for this. Of course, I'd spent time doing the stitching and stuff beforehand and the die cuts beforehand, so it wasn't like it was a massive, you know, marathon, but I kind of really enjoyed it. So I'm trying to keep it really simple. I'm using a cardstock background, which, you know, is a little bit unusual for me as well, but I thought again I'd challenge myself while doing these pages. So I'm just creating my cluster here at the bottom, and I've got kind of like those three black elements that kind of create a sort of circle. So these flags are the Carpe Diem flags, and they are brilliant. I love them. They made my clusters in these so much easier, because, you know, often you'll want to cut a piece of paper into a little flag anyway, just to fill in a weird little gap in a cluster or something. So they worked really, really well, and I really enjoyed them, putting them on my projects. And so just those little stitched elements added a little bit of more detail, but as I said, because I've done them prior to that, it didn't take any more time. So I said it's a pretty simple cluster. I did do some ink misting in the background, only little tiny bits, and said I've then put this as my title. So this is going to be the second page within my Disney part of my album. So it's pretty simple. I'm just using my pokey tool in order to put those brads through. I really enjoyed actually using the brads. Brads is something I used to use a lot, but yeah, I found that they just add another little dimension really. So I'm really happy with how they came out. And then I'm really going to stop this layout. I'm going to add a little bit more mist, and then that's it. I do go back and add some journaling. I think maybe some rhinestones to this page, but I really don't add that much more. So you're just going to see me using the roller date stamp there to embellish that journaling card, and then I also put the date down there at the bottom as well, and that's just using black ink. So that's it for this page. I really liked it. I'm just undoing the washi from that, and I'm just trimming off that circle that hung over the edge, and I'm calling that done. So now on to my second double page spread, and this again is going to be using a cardstock background. Again, it's a bit of a challenge. This is a piece of paper which was from Say Cheese 2, and this was a whole 12 by 12, so I've just cut that down into two 6 by 6 pieces. So I'd got the gold foiled magic on the bottom, and also some of the stars were foiled. So I'm just going here and trying to plan out where I'm going to put my photos. I've also got that little what was it, like a rosette sort of thing, that was on one of the cut apart sheets from the Say Cheese 2 collection as well. So I'm just adding a little bit more mist to either side, I'm keeping this pretty simple. And again, I didn't want to, you know, overly embellish this. So I'm just going to cut this out. So I am going to cut this out because it did take quite a while. So I'm glad I took the time to cut that out, but it was really fiddly. So now I'm going to stick my photos down, and these are really kind of colourful photos because they are of the parade. So there's a lot of bright colours, there's like crowds in the background, so they're quite busy. So just having that kind of play in the background really kind of grounds them. So I then put these other two portrait photos, which are just going to kind of frame each side, and here you'll see me using a ruler. This doesn't happen very often when I scrapbook, but I just wanted to make sure where possible that those photos were centered and look straight. And this is a format that I would use on a single page as well, so if you don't do double pages, this is definitely something that you can do. As I said, I really like it. And that's really all that matters, isn't it? So I'm taking some of the washi tape, which came with the Say Cheese 3 collection, which is just black cameras. And again, I'm just going to use that to ground those photos so they're not floating too much. And everything just fitted in quite right with those stars. So now I'm going to be looking through my embellishments. So there's these, what are they? The castle. Sleeping Beauty's castle, and there's lots of different sayings and words and stuff, so I'm just going to try and plan where I'm going to put my embellishments, and I find it a little bit tricky to work around this space. I know I want to put my title on here, and I'm going to come back and put my title on there, and you'll see that in the second video. So I'm leaving that kind of big blank space there at the bottom for the title. So within the die cut pack were these balloons, and also on the brad sheet was a balloon cluster as well. So I thought, yes, I want to put balloons because this is like the parade during the day, and there is people with balloons in the pictures, so I thought that would kind of work. So I've got these Mickey heads that I've cut out on my silhouette, and I'm just going to play about with how I want these clusters to look. And I'm actually going to end up moving those balloons over to the side because I couldn't quite get it to work there, and I was kind of very conscious of where my title was going to go as well. So you're gonna see me kind of fiddle around with here, and then it's like, Nancy, just put all the balloons on one side, and that kind of works. So now I'm happy with that, and they are actually secured with a brad as well. And I'm going to go, yeah, let's just start sticking stuff down because I'm going to be here a long time. And I think, I was a bit more decisive on these pages because it didn't matter. It was just I knew that there was a lot using the same products and the same theme, so it was going to work however I planned them. So just put a little bit more gold mist down on the bottom because I had moved that second cluster. I'm going to put in a little ticket here which has a MIT one. Tickets are another thing that are in the theme of the Say Cheese collection, so again they're going to become something I'm going to use in many of my clusters. So now I'm just going to start sticking these balloons down. And some of them are sticking over the photo, so they look like they're floating. That's what I meant. So again, I'm just sticking that brad through there to secure it, and it's just basically a brad that looks like the string of the balloons. I'm then going to just take my pen and draw my Mickey heads into some balloons. So that kind of worked. So that is those first two double page layouts that I've made, and like I said, I am going to come back in my second video. I will show you another double page layout and also the final ones that I've made. So do go out and check the blog post below. I really enjoyed doing this, so it'd be great to hear some feedback. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Bye!